Hey everyone and welcome back, I'm Simon here for the Ether Hub bringing you another MTG list video. Today's video is going to cause a lot of debates down in the comments, and I'm really looking forward to what you guys think about this controversial topic. Now, some of you may or may not like the idea of the Gatewatch in Magic the Gathering, but there's no mistaking that they're here for good. Or at least until Bolas dies, and only if they don't come up with another big threat afterwards. So, like it or not, the Gatewatch are here to stay. Since the original roster rolled out with Oath of the Gatewatch, a number of different Planeswalkers have since joined or even left the Gatewatch. In this video, we'll be examining my top 5 picks for the next potential recruits to join the Gatewatch. Let's go! Samut. So this is a fairly new entry to the Planeswalker arena, but I think Samut could be a perfect match for the Gatewatch. What is the current goal of the Gatewatch? Protect the greater multiverse from major threats, that being, as of right now, Nicol Bolas. Samut has some major beef with Bolas. I mean, the Elder Dragon did disguise himself as a god pharaoh, taint the very history and social structure of her people, corrupted the gods of her world, and then killed almost all of those gods with monster gods he manipulated. Basically, her plane of Amonkhet is doomed, and it's all thanks to Bolas. Now, to be fair, we left Samut on a hopeful note, her leading the refugees of her fallen world through a desert where the dead always come back to life to kill anything still living. Yeah, obviously living the good life. Amonkhet has one good god and two very powerful, very evil bad gods created by Bolas left. The odds aren't in Samut and the survivor's favor. Should the rest of those she holds dear perish, it could push her to take the fight to Bolas directly. Remember, Samut's spark actually ignited during the events of Amonkhet and Hour of Devastation, meaning she's a fresh planeswalker who only visited Theros, and only for a hot second before returning to Amonkhet. She'll be looking to do some exploring, I'm sure, and what better way to do that than with others who can serve as guides? The Gatewatch were a huge part of the Amonkhet story arc. Samut has already met most of its members and fought beside them. She has all the ins and connections she needs. One last reason why I think she could join the Gatewatch, and that's her color pairing. Red-green is still a combination the Gatewatch hasn't seen yet, meaning it's wide open for Samut. Kiora. Kiora is one of my all-time favorite planeswalkers in the story, and I think she could be a good, if not a little edgy pick to join the Gatewatch. I've always seen the Gatewatch as the Justice League of MTG, and I mean, who else can play a better Aquaman, right? Seriously though, Kiora may have a rough past with the Gatewatch, but that doesn't mean she can't prove a valuable member to this team. Kiora is a well-traveled merfolk planeswalker who would add a little spice to the majorly human cast of the Gatewatch. She's had experiences and run-ins with not only the Gatewatch, but many of the individuals making up the group. She's been involved in several major storylines across different sets, so we have a good idea of who she is and what she stands for. She even fought beside the Gatewatch during their campaign against the Eldrazi Titans on the plane of Zendikar, Kiora's home plane. So she has that all-important in. Right? She was basically an honorary Gatewatch member before the Gatewatch was officially formed, and was rumored to be a potential original member. Sounds like a slam dunk, right? Well, there's a reason she didn't join the original cast. On Zendikar, Kiora's pride and stubbornness made her a less than ideal team member, actively going against the others' wishes, almost costing them their chance to end the Eldrazi Titans once and for all. Though she had the best intentions in mind, Kiora kinda just slumped off into the sunset, realizing she royally fudged up. Still, the experience is there. Her Civic colors would also be a great addition, and if she just gets into the team mentality just a little bit, Kiora would be a great new member for the Gatewatch. Vraska. Another planeswalker we've seen recently but not entirely new to the story. Vraska's seen a lot of changes to her character, going from underhanded assassin to swashbuckling, somewhat friendly-ish pirate, making her a much better fit for the Gatewatch now than ever before. Of course, there are other reasons she would join this crew, one of which being her deep connection with the brains behind the Gatewatch, Jace Beleren. They shared a spirited adventure on Ixalan and grew a bond there as Vraska was his captain. We also know from that story arc that while Vraska was initially working for Bolas, she kind of flips teams, and is now working alongside Jace and thus the Gatewatch by extension to bring down Bolas. Of course, she may be on the more greedy side, looking to make big moves on her home plane of Ravnica, but with that aside, we see that she does truly care for Jace and would be reluctant to hurt her new friend, even if she is currently under some amnesia. Again, her Golgari colors would fill a niche in the Gatewatch, so having a captain join would certainly be in the realm of possibility. Ugin. So the spirit dragon of fame and history of MTG, in my eyes at least, would be a great but also difficult new member for the Gatewatch squad. Ugin is an old figure in the MTG multiverse and the lore as a whole, plotting against Bolas' rise for longer than we could probably ever know. Since the Gatewatch are actively against Bolas, Ugin would seem like an easy pick, right? Well, not so much. Because of his age, experience, and knowledge, Ugin kinda comes off as a jerk. Though he has helped Jace through a number of adventures, including those with the Eldrazi Titans, Ugin was quick to judge the actions of the new Gatewatch for disturbing a balance that no one truly knows the extent of. Even though on a surface level, they just saved an entire plane and killed world-devouring monsters. So to put it simple, Ugin's kind of a know-it-all. Ugin left on pretty bad terms after that, and Jace drove an even bigger wedge between them when he mind-wrecked the former Planeswalker, Bolas fighter, and friend of Ugin's, Azor, on Ixalan. Though Ugin isn't aware of this yet, I'm sure he won't be all too happy when he bumps into Jace and finds out. So why do I think he could fit at all, if he's nothing more than a pretentious jerk? Well, in essence, the Gatewatch need him. As much as the Gatewatch has grown, they're nowhere near ready to fight Bolas. Hour of Devastation proved that. They need more powerful allies, and you don't get much stronger than Ugin. Ugin has fought Bolas in the past, and has dedicated centuries to his defeat. To not have Ugin on your side as a member of the Gatewatch would be insane. However, him joining or not is an entirely different question. Again, colorless is a niche needed to be filled in the Gatewatch, so there's that too. Elspeth. My number one pick for a new potential Gatewatch member has to be Elspeth Tirel. She has no known experience with Nicol Bolas, is a white-aligned planeswalker which the Gatewatch already has, and you know, she's dead, among other things. Have I lost my mind? Wait a minute and let me explain. So first, you don't need personal experience with Bolas alone to join the Gatewatch. Remember, the Gatewatch was originally founded to defeat the Eldrazi Titans, then moved to protect the multiverse from various big baddies, i.e. Bolas. This is perfectly in line with the very character and ideals of Elspeth, a noble knight who throws her own life on the line to defend the needy. She's well-traveled and has helped various peoples all across numerous planes in the multiverse, proving she helps those in need, and not necessarily just her own home and friends, helping those who she doesn't have a real tie to personally. The perfect example of a potential new Gatewatch candidate. Of course, her values don't really mean much now, as you know, she's kinda dead. But we also know that ain't gonna last. Elspeth died heroically fighting the false god planeswalker Xenagos on Theros. She completed her mission, which was unfairly forced upon her, and was rewarded with a spear in the back from the friendly god Heliod. So Elspeth died, yes, but if you're gonna die anywhere, it may as well be on Theros, where the dead go to the underworld and can actually come back mostly intact. Elspeth was close friends with Ajani Goldmane, who respected and cared for her deeply. Ajani mourns her death, and fights with her memory and cloak. Ajani is currently a part of the Gatewatch, and Bolas won't live forever. Once the dragon has been dealt with, perhaps a new threat emerges and Ajani would need his lost friend once again. Could you imagine a set going into the underworld of Theros to bust Elspeth out of hell? Well, sounds great to me, sign me up. And let's not forget, Ajani was out recruiting other allies for their fight against Bolas. Who's to say that he hasn't somehow already gotten Elspeth out? But what about our color alignment? She's white, Gideon's white. Would we really have two mono white planeswalkers on the Gatewatch? Probably not. But good thing Elspeth doesn't have to be just white. Remember, she's dead after all, and being in the underworld changes people. Maybe Elspeth will come back with a new white-black color pairing, filling another much-needed niche in the Gatewatch roster. Maybe not a perfect, ideal situation, but hey, I'd be down to see it. Well, there you guys have it, my top picks for the next potential Gatewatch members for Magic the Gathering. This is where I want you guys in the comments below to let me know your own thoughts on this topic, because I'm really curious to see what you'd put in the Gatewatch roster. Let's debate it out. Of course, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and of course share it across the multiverse. You can also support the Ether Hub by joining the Vorthos army on Patreon, get signed cards, exclusive content, and access to our Discord, all while supporting the content you love. Find that link in the description below. As always guys, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time here on the Ether Hub.